on this computer. Okay. So let me just double check something here. I wanted to see what I have on resident assistance. I think at the end of last year, yeah. So what you can see here, Jason, is this is a site, whether I started playing with it, I think there was a girl in Malaysia, the one of the Philippine Islands, something like that, that started to do some of this. I don't recall exactly where we were with this, but this is one of the sites that I own. You can see it started being built out. It's got Latin. They use that kind of as a filler. You can see, I think you're starting to understand, or you do understand the page layouts. We've got a row and then we've got a column here and columns here and that type of stuff. So I guess what I would say, I don't know if this would be, you were saying about you were struggling putting together your own website for lack of direction. And I understand that because I don't have one up for myself either. So I understand that. You can continue using that to practice. What would be an option for you also is if you wanted to, again, I'm not, you'd be welcome to practice on this after you got better and you know what you're doing. I'd be happy to pay you to do stuff. So what I would say is that this would be an option for you if you wanted to start to click through like one of these sites or a different site and then get some more experience. And then after you feel more confident that to say that, okay, I think I'm ready to start getting paid. But what are your thoughts on that, Jason?
Well, I think you're right. I think it comes back to the fact that I probably need to, I don't know, it's just almost like, I don't know. Well, for let's go like this, for example, when you're starting a website from scratch, what kind of direction do you take when it comes to asking your clients specific questions? Like how do they want it to necessarily look? What do they specifically want? And then at the same time, do those same clients then give you the about information, give you photos? Are they sending you this stuff? Or this is like is it like a checklist that you say, hey, these are the things that I'm going to need to start this? Like, how do you go about doing that exactly?
Yeah, and that's a great question, Jason, or good questions. If I was well organized and I was a larger agency and I'm sure if I went through my Word documents, I've got, what they call a checklist for onboarding a client or
Hmm.
checklist for new clients. So you kind of go through a list of 21 questions or X number of questions. That would be in an ideal situation, an ideal world. The majority of my clients, I would say, I would use the expression as they're like lower hanging fruit, and that they need that they're not that sophisticated in their business development at this stage. So the websites that I often do are for like new landscape, a first time website for a landscape company, a masonry company has problems with their website, more mom and pop type of shops. I think when you're
Hmm.
doing something more with the larger companies that have more personnel with them and stuff, you should go through and it would be great to go through a check. And I'm not saying those checklists are bad; they're absolutely great. But I know, like
Hmm.
for me, for some of my clients, it's I go and sometimes I go and find some of the content for them. And so, like for a
Hmm.
landscape company like Don's Landscaping, the guy is not gonna come up with text. It's just not going to happen. And so
Right.
I needed to come up with the text for myself and
Okay.
same some of the other ones. So I think it really depends on the client. And
Hmm.
but often and sometimes I build it in as part of my uh the price that I charge. Other times I just, okay, I got to do what I got to do because otherwise I'm never going to get the website up. So I'm going to go and
Right.
go to another website in Naperville, Illinois, or somewhere in another state, look to see what the masonry company does, use some of their words, go back and customize it, personalize it for that website, and then use it there.
Hmm.
So when you talk about direction, that type of stuff, some clients know exactly what they want. Some clients have their
Hmm.
own website already built. Captain's Cabinetry, they had a website. I thought we were doing the same website, the same stuff basically, but up to date, etc. Well, after I recreated the whole site for it, I said, well, we're gonna do a lot of new pages and this and that. So it took, actually months of them revising, making changes based on what I had originally recreated for them. So
Hmm.
that's just kind of, you kind of roll with it. And even like the site I was working on earlier today is let me see here, Ironwork. So it's BC. Are you seeing in my screen? Okay, Firefox, and we're about to bounce to uh,
Yeah.
it's coming up. It's taking a minute to load, but this is an Ironworks company. And I originally approached this guy about a year ago, and I said, "Hey, your website doesn't look so good. I'd be happy to do it for you." Well, it took him more than a year to finally say, "Okay, I want you to go ahead and do it." And actually, that mass spectrometry, same type of thing. It took over a year for the guy to finally say, "Okay, I'm ready for it." That wasn't me. It was just some people are slow to do whatever they want to do here. So this one here, what happened
Right.
is it's still loading. There's still some images coming in here. Here comes the images. But what happened is that these right now don't link anywhere. And so he's got fences and gates, and it wasn't linking anywhere. Well, then about a week ago, a little while ago, he gave me the images. So now I've got to go back through this site. I'm creating a new page, and then I'm in the process of just creating a photo gallery, and then just putting the photos on there, a new page, a photo gallery, a new page, a photo gallery. So this is the type of stuff that I'm saying, like for you, like if you knew what you were doing, I could say, hey, Jason, I need 8 or 10 pages built with a photo gallery and a heading on each one, based off this home page. And then you'd say, okay, I
Hmm.
know how to create a new page. I know how to create a new photo gallery. I think I know what you're looking for, or I saw what you meant, so I can create that. So that's just an example. But sometimes for a new client, you're literally starting with home, about, photos, contact, and you just kind of build the site out totally from scratch. So um, I don't know, did that answer your question at all, or?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, again, you were mentioning about like the Jason, for your site, I did see you were making you're doing some editing, that type of stuff. I think it's a great place for you to continue to use to get practice and try some new things. I think what you may be interested in doing as soon as this loads is, like, I haven't even checked out all these different modules or widgets that you can
Hmm.
drop into a page. And because you're relatively new to this, it might be beneficial for you. And this page is still loading. Again, I've got slow internet connection here, but we'll try to be patient. Um, Starts loading. Come on. What I was going to say is that you may want to just drop in different widgets on
And
this.
just see what they do.
Yeah, and to see when you start to edit, what does this one mean actually? So I know it took me a long time to finish saying that sentence, but yeah, that's what I would do. So here you are on your home page. I'm clicking on Builder to start that. Hopefully this will open the Builder. And again, I don't know, like the resident assistant thing, if that was something that you would, because it's undeveloped, I don't mind saying if you want to go in there and start to edit and practice on another live site so you can kind of see, and it has some purpose. Because if you said you lived on campus, I don't know if you know anything about
Right.
the assistant job, that type of stuff, but that would at least give you something to be thinking about or moving towards. But
Well, you know what? I think when you were going through that last website, the Iron one, it gave me an idea. Um, on mine, I should probably just like maybe I would just make a page and I could just name it after my dog and just take photos of videos of him and then try to just learn how to embed those into each one. And you said um, talking about using upload stuff to YouTube that way and then embed it that way. So maybe I should just do something like that, like photos, photo gallery, maybe a video gallery, and just try to see how I can create that, but just use it as a second page, a page off of the site that I have now.
I think that would be a great option. I mean, because again, when you're done with this, we can just wipe this whole site clean, and so we don't need to clean it up. We can just wipe it, and start totally over if you wanted to.
Hmm.
So, whether you keep it clean or clean it up, that's up to you. But let me just show you here. When you hit plus, if this will end up loading,
Mhm.
I'm gonna move this over. And so you click, here's video. So I just drop it in. Are you seeing my screen okay?
Yep.
So I'm just gonna drop the video in here into this column or row that you had developed here. And so then it's saying here, you don't want it in the media library because it just takes up too much memory. And it also is
Mhm.
not going to run fast because video can use a lot of memory and processing speed. So if you use a video service like YouTube, that's a better way to do it. But I don't know that, like, again, most of my clients, I would say probably like less than 10% have videos on their website. And
Mhm.
so it's good for you to know how to add a widget, add a video. But the truth is, there's not, most of your clients may not end up saying, hey, could you put a video on there? But let me show you real fast how it is. We're recording the session so you'll know how to do it. So you saw that I just went there, added a video, right? Did you follow that? And so I just
Yep.
select video, and then we're not going to go from the media library. Actually, what I want to do is I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. So, are you still seeing my screen or did I lose you?
Nope. I got you.
Okay, I'm going to YouTube right now. So hopefully you're seeing Firefox taking me to YouTube. We're just going to get that
Mhm.
code because all we need to do is drop in code. And I was starting to show you
Okay.
kind of the long and wrong way to do this. So I'm now thinking more, and I'll show you the quick and easy way to get the video into your website, other than the slow internet. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just opening YouTube. I'm going to go to a video. I'm going to go to the share button. I'm going to grab the code for embedding, and then I'm going to go back.
Mhm.
I'm going to go back and then just paste that code into the widget and upload it or publish, and it'll be there. So uh, this is finally coming up. Wow. But I do think, like, again, whether it's for your own site or a resident assistant, or I can give you some, different site that if you wanted to practice a little bit more on a site with some purpose, I can give you access to a site, and then all you'd end up doing is doing the same basic thing of editing text, editing photos, and then maybe a row or two. So here's my videos. And a lot of this, Jason, really is time on task because I know, like, for myself, I won't say every day I'm learning something new, but there's a lots of times that I'm learning something new that it's like I did not know that, or now I understand. And what I would say, don't try to absorb everything because I know over the years okay, I read that, I don't need to know it now, but at a later date I might need to know it. So when you
Right.
learn stuff or see stuff, just kind of log it in your mind, but you don't need to know what it's for right now at this time. So I'm actually just waiting for this YouTube video thing to open so I can show you about grabbing the code if this ever opens. And it probably didn't help that I have all these tabs open, but I'm going to turn on my hotspot to see if that helps at all. So let me do that as well. Were there questions while we're waiting for this thing to load that also came to mind for you, Jason?
Um, I'm trying to. Okay. On a couple sites, I think I don't remember where I saw it, but there is a site, or I think you've done it on one of the other ones. Maybe it might be your work one. I'm not exactly sure, but you have when you scroll down, it almost looks like part of the screen scrolls, but then there's a background photo
Yeah.
at the same time that kind of stays still or it kind of moves.
Yep.
That's
It-
interesting to me. I just wasn't sure if that's something that is, I'm assuming that's some sort of a background image in a certain row, and then the other ones just sit in front of it. Is that right?
Yeah,
but
it's called a parallax effect, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And you are correct exactly what you said, is that you're able to create a background and then you make it called fixed, Fixed, fixed background. It doesn't scroll. And then you are correct, the stuff scrolls in front of it. So you are 100% correct in that. And I can show you how to do that before we're done here. So
okay.
not much of an advanced feature, but it's good to know. So where I'm at now, I finally was able to get to our last session. And so I want to do is get to the share button or share thing here. So let me double check. This is the video link, but I thought we had, and maybe this is, let's just try this. So I'm just going to copy the video link here. We're going to go back to your site. It used to have
Hmm.
code that was the word embed, but I think I remember that they just recently changed this. Now I could be wrong on this, but let's just see what happens. So I'm here on your site. I'm opening up the builder on your site. I'm anticipating there's going to be a column right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in what they call, well, you probably know the term HTML,
Hmm.
which was that shareable link, was more of a hyperlink, but I'm going to see if that kind of just drops in because I thought YouTube was make it a little bit easier to embed. But we'll find out here in a second. So I'll be glad to show you the parallax effect. Was there another, and that's for your any part of a page, it's just a row, and then you create
Hmm.
a background, and then you create a fixed background, and then it can go on any part of the page. So and I'll show you that before we're done here. This page is almost unloading, and then we'll drop in that video code. Okay, so this is video settings, but before I do that, I'm going to just try to drop in HTML code. So here, this is here. I'm going to drop this in right here. Let it go. Hopefully the HTML widget will open up. Again, this is what I was saying to you. Just got to get some practice to see what happens. So here this is. I'm going to drop this in right here. Now that may not work, but let's just see what happens.
Okay.
And it probably will not. Because I was expecting something slightly different. Let me go back here. And let's go to that shareable link. Now, where is that here? Details. It's one thing, sometimes it's a matter of troubleshooting. I had the one client, I was working with him and he'd be asking me questions like I knew the answer. It's like, I don't know the answer. I'll try to figure it out as quick as possible here, but it's not that I don't want to tell you, it's that I don't know. And where I'm looking here is I'm looking for that shareable content, but I think because I clicked on the video, I'm in a slightly different access level. So this is probably where I need to be. And options. And no.
Shareable link.
That's what I did. That was that HTML. That's what I thought that it was.
Oh,
And so let's try something else here. Let's click this. Okay, take me back to where I was before. And shoot. I'm gonna upload and publish that just since we're wasting time on this anyway. Let's just make sure here. So I'm gonna hit done and publish. And the code may stay there or it may end up loading the video. We'll see what happens. I'd be surprised if the video loads, to be honest, but sometimes you just have to try.
yeah,
Normally,
it's just
the
a
word
link on mine.
normally you're embedding is what you normally end up doing. Yes,
Right.
here's the code. So that's not showing. So let me just check something real fast here. How to embed. And again, I mentioned to you before, if you once you learn enough some WordPress skills, you're not going to be dependent on me for a job or work. You can apply for stuff because I saw on LinkedIn there's sometimes a large number of companies looking for different levels of uh, WordPress skill levels. Okay, so how do I embed YouTube and WordPress? Let's just check this real quick here. Click on the block insert icon, YouTube. Wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting that. You mind waiting a minute while I just try to check this real fast?
Yeah, totally fine.
And I don't know if you've checked at all the WordPress.org. I think you may know that there's a difference between WordPress.org and WordPress.com. WordPress.com provides a lot of services for like hobbyists and sometimes small businesses with some restrictions and costs and that type of stuff. The WordPress.org is basically the same software, that type of stuff, but that it's free. WordPress itself is free, but then you add other software that then can start costing stuff, software and services.
Right.
The reason why I mentioned that to you is the WordPress.org, we'll look at a little bit later on, is that there are plugins, and plugins are software that can do almost anything you want, from e-commerce to forms to videos to slides to whatever you want. But there's tens of thousands of different uh plugins that you can plug into a WordPress website. And I'll show you that a little bit later on. So let me just double check here. I was trying to see about share button or copy the URL, click on the embed button, copy the embedded code. That's what I did not see. There's normally a code that I would have been looking for, and this is not the video link.
Mm-hmm.
You see anything more about share?
I was gonna say, what's that right next to the video link? What's that little shadowed box on the right
This
hand
is
side?
this
What's
is
that?
this is copying the link. This is
Oh,
what I
that's just
did.
the copy.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's what I did. I copied that link because I thought I was expecting this to show embed as being an option, and I don't see that, and that's really strange. Editor, comments, subtitles, settings, playlist. Well,
Well, what about this?
I'm sorry.
On on your main screen YouTube page, if you look at one of the video thumbnails, in the right hand corner next to the title, it says that has the three little dots. And then it says add query, save watch later, save to playlist, and then it says share. I don't know if that's something that can be used. It's
That's
on the main.
are you seeing my screen or no?
I'm seeing your screen, but I'm also looking at your screen on a different screen.
Okay.
Um,
I,
but
I
it's
went
on
to I
your.
went to the three dots. It says get shareable link. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, it says share, and then it does have a embedded link, but the link is way longer than the other one.
That's what I'd be looking for, but
Let me
I
see.
don't see. Are you seeing my screen? Because I don't see what you're saying, Jason.
No, I know. I'm on a different screen looking at your website. Like if I was viewing your videos, not from behind the scenes like you are now. I'm
Mhm.
viewing your videos from the main page.
Okay.
Let
Well,
me
and so are you able
try
to grab that
something.
embed code?
Yeah, I have it right now. I'm just
Okay.
trying to see about if I can find a good way to ship it to you.
No, well, actually, why don't you put it in the website? If you're, are you logged into your website?
Yeah, let's okay. Let's
So
do
why don't
that.
you go to that? It's on the home page and then scroll down and then go to,
Okay.
you'll be pasting the HTML. That embedded code is HTML. And you actually can paste it right over that YouTube code that I put there if you wanted to.
I don't know if let's see if it'll work. It's the same thing, but let me see. Uh,
And we're probably, if we don't get it in the next minute or two, we'll move on to other stuff. Because like I said, it's almost so seldom that people ask for videos on their website. Obviously, I'm missing a very simple step because all I wanted to do is grab the embed code, and obviously I'm not able to do that. But if for the value, it's not worth our time more than another minute or so.
Okay.
It was normally under share and then embed. That's where I've always seen it before. That's why it's confusing for me why it's not there. But things get moved or I'm not looking in the right way. But
Okay, look at it now.
did you upload it?
Yep, I got it.
So does a video show?
Let me go back to it real quick because I'm on a different thing.
My internet is so slow
Yep.
here. Does the video show?
Yep, it shows 100%.
Well, so Jason, I think do you understand what you just did? That's absolutely great. You did that. That's absolutely wonderful. You understand what you did?
Well, yeah, I did. So you were right. It's if I look at your main YouTube page where your stuff's listed and the videos, each one's there. The three little dots come on the right hand side and it says shared. And when you click on share, you have a small window that pops up and the first thing says embed,
Yeah,
just
and that's
like
what
you
I was
said.
that's what I was looking for. So wherever I was going, it
Yep.
was not showing up. And I think part of it's my internet's that slow. So I'm gonna switch networks. I'm sorry if we get disconnected, but I'm gonna switch just so that see if it clears up anything, okay?
No problem. Go ahead.
If we get disconnected, we'll connect back. Okay, you still there? Jason? You back? Hello? You there?
There we go.
Sorry about that. That is so frustrating. Our internet service, they want to keep charging more and more. And right now, I don't want to pay that extra. It's like 20, 25 bucks a month. It's like we're already paying, 200 something with the cable TV and internet stuff. So anyway, sorry
Well,
about
yeah, it was really funny the other day. My mom, same idea at the house. The internet went down. It didn't go down. It reset to factory settings for some
that.
reason. So
Ooh.
I still have to go back over there and fix it all back up because all the little devices in the house are looking for the network that's not there anymore. So I got to fix that tomorrow.
Yeah, and you need that password for the router.
Yep, yep. I was dealing with that. We got the TV up, but we need to get the other stuff up. So
That's frustrating. So anyway, but I'm glad we reconnected. So Jason, congratulations on embedding the video. Most of the time you won't ever need to do that, but now basically you'd end up editing by going and just dropping an HTML into any widget, any column or row and that type of stuff. So I'm
okay.
gonna open back up and are you at a blank screen here?
Yep, I am.
Okay. What I wanted to show you is WordPress.org, and it's kind of weird the way they've got this, but well, we're going to look for the plugins. Normally, when you're within a website, you can add a plugin, and that's how I build a lot of the web. Well, you have to when I build my websites, you start kind of with a basic WordPress install, and then you add plugins. And so let's just take a quick look under
Mhm.
extend here for a second. And then I'll show you how to do that parallax effect that you asked about. So this is not normally how you get there, but like with anything I've said, there's usually more than one way to get there. So if we go to plugins, and you can see they have blocks, and blocks are the same as elements or widgets or blocks. Each program, different programs use different uh, editing elements. Basically, elements would be another word that basically means the same thing, but it's for a different type of program. So what I clicked on here was this is on plugins, and so let's say I was looking for forms. And so I would just, and they have free plugins or paid plugins. I usually use paid plugins that have a high reputation rate. And you can see this is 5 million installs. So this is well tested. This is kind of expensive. I use a different program, but this is reputable. This is 500,000, 5 million, But some of these, you'll see they get down, it's like they don't have very many installs. Here's down to 30,000. Well, that sounds like a lot, but when here's 10,000. But when you compare it against millions, you're usually better off going with a paid form and you can learn more. Right now, you're not at that stage, but the different plugins I use, I pay for a lot of them because they're kept up to date, they're secure, more compatible, and those other types of things. But you can look for a plugin to do just about anything, and I'll just type in
Hmm.
orange, but photos, videos, statistics. Here's photo galleries. Here's 1,000,000. Here's 10,000. Here's 50,000. And I'm looking here to see how many installs they have, because that'll tell you if other people are using it or not, and for whatever program that you're trying to use. Um, Ticket sales, those types of things. So
Hmm.
let me go back to your site and let's just do that, adding in a parallax effect. So all you end up doing, Jason, is you go here, go plus, drop in a row, and I drop in one column. I guess you could do it with more than one column, but I always do it with one. But I'm sure it'll work. My guess is it would
Hmm.
work with more than one column. But so here's the row here. What I want to do is I want to drop in a background. So I'm going to the row settings. You following okay?
Yep.
Okay. So the row settings hopefully will open up here in a second, and it probably opened up right here. And this has all these, you can see here, there's things that are dropped in here. So obviously I did something wrong or I did not know these were here. So I'm just gonna get rid of this. And now I'm back here. I'm gonna get rid of this. I can see these things flashing up on me.
Yeah.
Not sure what happened there. I guess you or I may have dropped in 6 columns at one time, so I need to get rid of that because I keep wanting to get a clean row.
Right. You don't want anything in it, right?
Because I want to create the background for the row. Oh, come on. I keep clicking remove and I think, okay, now finally it's gone. That was, no. Jason, I can't figure out what's happening here. Why these things keep showing up. You see what's happening? I'm trying to click remove and we got all
Yeah.
these widgets or columns here. And
What if you were to go back and hit the main row on the
well,
far left-hand side and just remove the whole thing? Would
that's
that
why
make it all go away?
I've tried to. I keep clicking it and it's not removing it. So let me
Hmm.
let me hit done. Let me hit publish. And the page is reloading here. So whatever was going on, hopefully will not continue to do that. Okay. So page is almost done loading. Again, I thought I went with a faster internet connection, but I think next time we meet, I'll make sure I clear off close all my other tabs and stuff. So this page finally totally closed on me. So I'm going to go ahead and click Builder and see if the page will finally open up for me to edit. Yeah, I'm just trying to close stuff, and it's taking a while to even close stuff. And sometimes I do just go to, Google and just type in how to do something because either I can't remember or couldn't figure something out. But
Hmm.
wow, that is absolutely unbelievable. It's taking that long. Ah, I never switched networks. That's why. It left me on that slow network. It never changed me over.
Oh, okay.
There it is finally. Hopefully this will be a little faster because that's been absolutely ridiculous. So we may get disconnected again. I don't know what'll happen here, Jason. So, okay, we are connected. You gone or you there? You're back. Thanks, Jason. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay, thank you. So let's go back to the screen share and then let's go back here. Let's go to screen share. And I think what I was going to do is just show you that parallax effect, but we'll see if this will finally end up open the page. If not, I'll give you control and see if your internet's kind of better, but and you can show me more on your site or if you had questions or something. Not sure what's happening over here with your menu. I don't know if that's page loading or we'll take a look.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's when I was over there a second ago, it looked the normal way that you had it the last time.
Oh, it's just frustrating. Well, Jason, I'm not sure what to say here. Let me give you your screen here and sure. Are you able to take control of the screen?
Well, let me see. I don't know if I've done it before, so it's being weird. Let's
Try
do
it again
that.
under screen share, I think, maybe.
All right. You see it?
I can see your screen and you've got I see your mouse moving around. So would you like to
All
show me
right.
you want to ask me any questions or show me anything on the site or
Well, I think that what I was gonna end up doing after we talked a little bit earlier was I think I'm just gonna add something, another tab, um, another page in a sense. I'm gonna get rid of create something that's just maybe for my just for fun, just maybe a video gallery or a photo gallery of my dog, just for the heck of it, just to see about doing that. So I think what I would probably end up doing is if I go over here to dashboard, I need to add a page, correct?
you could do it that way or across the top it says new and then you'd hit page. But both you see up top it says add page. That would be the same thing there and then page. It's the same thing. So you were about to do it, with two or three extra clicks, but
Okay.
that only took you about 5 seconds. So it go either way. And so I think you click new page.
Okay.
You click on, and then you go ahead and name it my dog or
Okay.
whatever. And then the eyeball that's directly above the title, probably you don't want the title to show usually. You can add a different, other places. So go ahead and click the eyeball so it doesn't show.
Gotcha. Whoops. Okay. And then just launch Beaver Builder.
Yes, other than if you want to do key search engine optimization stuff that you're not doing at this time. But normally
Mhm.
you'd add search engine optimization. And then here, do you know what to do?
Well, like you said before, obviously I need to put in one of these modules, I would assume.
Exactly. And so you may want to go
But in
search.
the case of like, if you say this part, I hit the,
That magnifying glass is a search up there on the right. So if you search right there and then type in photo,
mhm. So like a gallery.
you decide whatever you want. This is what I'm saying to you. You may want to learn what these different ones are. A gallery is one thing, a slider is another, rotating images is
Okay.
another. And so here, this is again, you can
Okay.
kind of play around to learn how you want it to be laid out. So yeah, you click add photos.
And then I just add is I can click on all of these and just add them in, right?
Exactly. And normally you would add alternative text and you'd add a title and you'd
Hit
add a
update gallery.
description normally.
Okay.
You got to hit update.
Oh, I do. Okay.
And obviously you can get more photos off your computer somewhere.
Right.
Now, if you're there, you see the layout, it says
Oh, okay.
up top, it says layout is collage. You see, nope, just below it, right there. But you could lay it out different
Yeah.
in columns or thumbnails and different modules or widgets, you can lay it out different ways. Those are
Okay.
thumbnails, you know.
Collage looks pretty cool, actually.
It does, but you
Okay.
can make it look a lot of different. That's photo size medium. If you scroll down right there, you just right there at the top, it says photo size. You got it set for medium. You could set it differently. You can decide about captions, that type of stuff. And then at the very just about an inch above that it says style or advanced in the gray area, it's right
Hmm.
there. Well, that lets you do different again. You have to learn. This is time on task. Normally you won't be
Yeah.
messing with this too much, but if you wanted to, you could see that there's
Hmm.
padding between the photos where you may want them to butt up against each other, or you may want a colored background, or you may want different things. So it's a little bit more advanced when you get into style or advanced. Most of the time, uh, that's a border. What you created was a border, which is different than a background. And so
Oh, okay.
if you go back there, you see it says style, and right there, go ahead and put the green back where you were.
Okay.
Yep, and then pick a color, whatever, and now go to default, right style where you were right there, and then pick double so you can see it better. And then make the then put it at the top and the bottom like 5 and 5. Okay, where it says right there, click 5 or 10,
Okay.
whatever you want, and then how now you can start to see the border. You
Oh,
see
yeah.
You see, and
Yeah.
you can see you're putting it at the bottom. Now you're putting it on the left.
Okay.
And so that's just the border for the photos. But you could have
Hmm.
done a border for the whole row, or you could have done a border for the widget or the column. So you can make
Okay.
everything look exactly the way that you want. So what you that's negatives, you're into negatives. So that would
I
be
don't even know how that happened.
it's okay. I just but sometimes you might want them to overlap. And how would you do an
Hmm.
overlap? You would use a negative, which is what you just did, not for the border, but for the margin or
Hmm.
padding. So you'd use negative to make them overlap on top of each other. And again, all of that is more
Okay.
advanced. You know, you and I were kind of skipping around. So you're learning. I'm sorry, I'm not teaching you kind of in a orderly fashion, but I'm kind of answering questions and you're kind of learning as we kind of flip around. But um, you've just learned about creating borders and partial borders on the top, bottom, left, right. You can create borders on the rows, borders on the columns, border on the photos. So why don't you go ahead and
Now
just
with
hit set?
this,
What? Pardon me?
what in when you get the when you hit the advanced tab, it then says margins. Are we talking the margins of the gallery itself all the way
You
around?
sometimes, yeah, that's a great question. Sometimes you have to me, it looks like the margins around the photo. And sometimes you have to kind of play around, like, is this for this or is this for that? So go ahead and drag it. So now that's for the whole row. You see what's happening? That's the margin on the bottom of the row. You see what's
Right.
happening?
Yeah.
So, and usually you just go with default. Usually you don't need to play around with styling or
Hmm.
advanced. Sometimes you might, but not all the time.
Okay.
The general tab is, why don't you drop in a different widget? So why don't you click hit save and go, and then drop in a different photo widget. So now go back to your plus sign and go to, you can do exactly, I would do that. Then type in photo and then pick out a different one to see what happens. You didn't pick one, you got to pick one. And then you drag and
Yeah.
drop it. Put it in its own row. Now that's in the same, that's okay. That's in the same row.
That's
Uh,
in the same row, but normally you would put it in a separate row, right?
you
So
may
they're
want to. I mean, there's advantages
okay.
to that because you might want to make it full width. You might want to make the background different or whatever the case may be. So, and since you just created that, Jason, go ahead and do a new row and then let's create that parallax effect so you knew how to do it. So go ahead and hit the plus sign again, and then let's drop in a whole new row. That looks like a column to me. I could be wrong, but let's drop in a new row, one column.
This one right here.
Drag it over, and but not put it up higher or lower, right there. You go ahead and drop it right there, and you can see it's in its own thing. Okay, now go up in the left hand where the wrench is, and then click row settings, and then scroll down. Oh, you gotta go to style, and then scroll it now. Right now it says though it's full width, the content is fixed with. That's fine. Scroll down. We want to look for the background. Keep going. We want to look for the background. There's the background. We want the background to be a photo. So go ahead and click photo, and then you scroll down. Why don't you go ahead and pick a photo? This if you have one that's large, hopefully. If not, that's okay. You want the trees, or that one's fine too. That'll work. Yep. And hit select, and then scroll down a little bit more. And then you can either slow down, it says attachment. You can scroll or stop right there or
Hmm.
fixed. So fixed. And now you've just created then you go ahead and save, you can see what'll happen. And so scroll down,
Oh, gotcha.
but now you want to add some, go ahead and scroll now, but you want to add some space or yeah, you can see now it's fixed. But let's add a space. So go back to that wrench where it says you're in the row. Go to the wrench in the top left-hand corner of that row. We're going to edit the row. Exactly. And then click row settings. Click row settings. Okay.
This one right here.
You're already
Row
there.
settings.
And I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and click the plus sign. Let's drop in a separator. I'll just show you how to click. So up in the top right-hand corner, there's a plus sign. We're going to drop in a widget, and the
Yeah.
widget is going to be a space or a spacer. So click on the plus sign, and then you see separator. It says separator left-hand side down. You just scroll. It's like the fifth little foot right there, and then drag and drop it into your parallax effect right there. Be dropping it. Hopefully it'll let you drop. Okay, now it says the height. Why don't you make the height 77? You got to make it okay. So and then now what you can see, we're going to change it a little bit more. But do you see what you've just done? You've added a space, but that's
Yeah.
pretty ugly with that gray background. Well, if you click on the back or the gray color, so click right there. And then the transparency is that slider. You slide it down all the way, all the way down, all the way down, all the way. Now, sometimes you don't want it all the way down because then you could put text with a transparent background, but then go halfway up a little bit. Make it like half gray. Keep going. Keep going all the way up a little bit, halfway. There'll be a little bit more, a little bit more. So now right there. So you can see through it, but you could put a text right there. You can see you could put a text
Yeah.
box on top of that or a heading on
Okay.
top of it, and then you could type, and then that will scroll in that separator setting, but right now that's a separator setting. So, but what I did, what I was showing you is you wanted a little bit more, why don't you make it totally transparent? And then what you can see is that you've made more of the image visible. You have to grab it a little bit better. There you go. Yeah, it looks transparent. So yeah, you've got it all the way there. And then hit save if you want.
Oh yes, you can. It's almost the separator, like you said, it helps you see more of the image
Right. Well, what you just
than
created some space. You've created a space, so nothing will go there. Will always stay. And what you could do is that if you see the one that's highlighted, it's got the arrows, then the wrench, and then right next to the wrench, the third button, right there. Click
this
that.
one.
Yep, it's duplicate. Click it.
Gotcha.
So did you click it?
Yep.
So now what you've done is you've created the same thing. Now you could move it, if you had one row that had a heading, you could have a
Hmm.
space above or below. You can add different things. So, or you can click again, duplicate it again. You're just creating more space to show more of the photo for the parallax effect.
Okay.
How about another question or something you wanted to learn how to do, Jason?
No, I think that's good right now. I'm just gonna do what you said. I'm gonna create like you said the other day. I'll do another page, but I'm gonna like we did here and just maybe just keep going with it.
Well, and again, so
Um,
if you go to new and then plus, it says there's a new sign right there,
mhm.
and then page, and then that's how you end up. That's the quickest way. It's a shortcut to then create
Okay.
a new page, and then name it whatever you want, and then
Mhm.
add whatever widgets, and then again, how it may help you to just drop in widgets just to see what is a countdown widget,
What
what
they're
is
gonna
a
do.
call out widget, what is a heading widget, what is this, and some of them will be duped. They look very similar because I have
Okay.
three different programs that are adding widgets. And so they kind of compete a little bit. They may create almost the same one,
Hmm.
like photo gallery. It may look almost the same, but it's just a little bit different. So when you're
Hmm.
learning the different widgets, you may like one better than the other. It could be almost the same thing. So, um, and then as you
Well,
start
it's
to
like your video, right? It's like the video you had earlier, I believe. Um, I was watching Callie's video right here, this one, I believe, and you were talking about the testimonials, and you were talking about having that slider for the testimonials, which I thought was really good. Um, and then you were going to get into showing her something else, and then that's when we started to hear your when you sent me an email to get onto this video call. But I was watching that, and I actually liked the way that that looked because you just slide it left in front, and you had that testimonial. That background didn't really change. I thought that was kind of interesting. I liked that way that the way it was presented.
Well, and
So,
so thank you for saying that. Let me just share with you real quick one of the things, and maybe you already know this some, maybe you know it all the way, but there's a difference between this is what Kelly still is learning this, and so we'll connect maybe this week. And so what I'm explaining to her is the difference between a page and a post. And so when you
post.
create a
Hmm.
blog, maybe you already know this, but when you're creating a post, you can put it in differently and it can do different things and can be more dynamic. And so right
Hmm.
now, you and I have been mainly just creating pages. But at some point, if
Right.
you want to do a blog, like what Kelly wants to do, you got to start creating posts, and they look almost the same, but they operate
Hmm.
differently on the website itself. So, and
Yeah.
when you
Well,
look
I
at that,
I used to do a blog a while back when I used to teach. I had a blog for my students. It was just simple. It was easy. It was through Google, which made it real easy. And so I had posts for each day, for each assignment, blah blah blah. So I yes, the posts are on the page and so forth.
that's great.
And you're able to add a ton of stuff to the post itself. Even I mean, we had a calendar, dates, but we also had embedded homework assignments, and then you click on them, they open up. So yeah,
Well,
that
so
was actually
so
pretty
I did not know you
beneficial.
knew all that already, Jason, because that's extremely valuable information that you just shared with me that you know, because at some point, again, after you get a little bit more practice and experience, like the resident assistant website that I have, it's undeveloped. And so I have a
Hmm.
lot of content that I eventually want to get posted onto that website because, I was in residence life for, way too long. And so I've got a lot of Word documents and other information. So if you eventually know what you're doing and you want to, again, I can pay you then if you know how to do blogging and post on a page,
Hmm.
I can pay you to build out residentassistance.com and create blog posts just like what you were talking about. So it's on, conflict resolution or roommate conflicts or, study skills or knowing the campus, so that's something that you certainly may want to be thinking
Right.
about and working towards because that's the type of stuff that if you know how to do it, that's the number one, I can pay you. Number two is other companies can hire you to do blogging because they usually don't know how to do some of that stuff. So, um,
Hmm.
let
All
me
right.
go to take back control if you don't mind here. Just your menu's a little bit messed up and
No, go ahead.
the menu situation a little bit more advanced. I won't keep you more than maybe 10 more minutes or so, but let me go back here and stop screen share. Yes. And then I'm gonna go back here and new share. Are you seeing my screen? Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay. So and so you're saying about Jason, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to do is, as you will remember, the header and footer can only be edited from the themer settings, which is under the template area. So hopefully my internet will work a little bit quicker. And if not, then we'll just wrap it up for the day here and I'll leave frustrated. But what I wanted to show you just how to edit the menu some. But again, this is a little bit more advanced, but since you were already playing around with it, I might as well show you so it'll help you hopefully. Wow. Maybe not. It's going back and forth. It's just going, going, going here, Jason. What I wanted to do was go here to templates and go to header. Let's see if it'll let me do that.
Hmm.
Probably not. Well, I'm glad it's at least
Were
letting me
you
talk.
asking?
Go ahead.
Were you going to ask about how the is it the thing that you were wondering about was the Jason's web design? Was it that it's scrunched instead of spread out?
No, the coloring issue. I think you were saying you were getting a little frustrated with the hover color and the green and the black backgrounds, that type of stuff. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I was, and I kind of because we left it last week at being like kind of red with some, and so I wanted to kind of make it a little easier to read, and so I was messing with it earlier today, and I just got it. I got to that point, and then I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna walk away because it was starting to aggravate me a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes walking away is the best thing to do. So when I was here, finally this thing opened. So I'll go to menu settings and hopefully this will let me do this. And so this is where you, because it's a coloring issue, you get more into the style. So you click on style and you can see the menu background color. And this gets into, well, again, I don't know exactly what you were running into, but your links would actually be the wording. So the link color would be the colors here. So if I want to make the links white, you can see I've just changed the color of you see the font has turned white. You see that? So that those are
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good.
that's the link itself. Now the hover colors, what would happen is as you hover over it. And so we may want to change
Okay.
that just for the effect of being red. And then the link hover background color. I'm sorry. So the font will turn red, not the background. The font will when we hover over it. And we'll leave the background color transparent. So it'll stay that green right now. And sometimes you got to kind of play around saying, did I do that right? Oh, I clicked the wrong one.
Yeah.
You can see what happened here is I made it, the link turns red because that's the page that we're hovering on or whatever the case may be. And then this here, you can either just drag and drop it. You can see Jason's website design here. I just dragged that over. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or another option, again, this is more advanced. I only learned this, I would say less than a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. And I was so frustrated that I did not know this earlier. I mean, how stupid. I mean, but I did not know this. So I'm showing you something that's really valuable. So if you go here and you go to responsive editing, and so
Hmm.
I can see large, this is how it looks on a large screen. Well, that doesn't look too good. So I
Right.
drag this over, number one, make it look there. Okay, that's fine. Now, if I want to see how it looks on a medium-sized screen, that doesn't look right again. So instead of dragging it over, because now you can see what's happened. I got both of these are on two different you see what's happened, the word contact and this. So
Yeah.
I don't like that. So now I'm going to go to style. So I click here and I go to style. Let me move this over. And I want to style this. So the font and then the size. And you can see now what's happened is I'm going to make it so it fits. Yeah, 26. I
Oh, I
think
gotcha.
that's too large. So 24. So on a medium screen, this will show up in one row, and I'm okay with that. This
Hmm.
looks okay. So I'm gonna hit save. And what I could have done was just gone here. Then I don't like this. This looks messed up. You know, I want it in one row. So I want to click here for the menu settings, and then I want to go to style, and then I want to go to the links here, and the size. Let me see your font, and then size. That's too large. 16 is too large. 14 is too large. That's getting kind of small. So I probably would want to move some of this stuff over because 12 point, that's a little bit small. So I'm going to raise it back up.
Small. Yeah.
I'm going to raise it back up to 14 and then figure out, okay, what I need to do, move this over. Sometimes you just got to play with it. Okay, that fits, but now this one doesn't. So then I go
Hmm.
here, go to my heading settings. And this is just again, if the client's paying more money, you want to make it look right on every device. You spend the time. If the client's not paying
Right.
you that much, you can't make it perfect because you can spend a lot of time. But if the client's paying you, then you want to make sure it looks perfect. Ideally, all the time, but you can't. I mean, sometimes there's too many screen size. So now you can see here on a medium screen, this looks okay. This is 18 and this is 14. That's okay. Then I go here to medium to small. And again, the beauty of this, Jason, this looks okay. Because here's the menu. Here's this. I could make
Right.
it a little bit larger, but that's okay. I hit done, hit publish. Now, the reason why I say this to you is I did not know this 2 months ago. And I was producing websites that on smaller screens didn't always
Hmm.
look as good as they could. But now that I know how to do this, I'll go back through and edit those out. Now this went back to here for the larger screen. And I learned this when I was dealing with Kelly. You'll see it on the video when I was showing this to her, I believe, is that there's a extra large screen as well. And I set this for large screen. So let me go here to
Right.
template, go to header, and I'll let you get off the phone here in a second. If you don't mind, just give me one more minute just so
Oh, you're fine.
thanks. So I finish this out for you. I'm on an extra large screen, not just a large screen. So this stayed larger than what I would have wanted to. So the themer is opening up. I'm going to show you here what I mean with the responsive editing the global settings. So as soon as this opens, I'm going to go to the global settings. Come on. Like I said, there's always stuff to learn. That's why when I did not know this was here. I was like, man, now I understand how to do some stuff that I did not know how to do before. And always done clicking a different drop down menu and then clicking a button and now I know what that means. I probably saw this stuff before. I did not, it didn't occur to me know what it was. So you can see here what we changed here, the hover button, it changes red. That's not that looks
Yeah.
great, but that's what I set it at. Still waiting for this page to finish loading because I just wanted to make this a little bit smaller. So now it's finally open. Uh, I want to click up here for global settings, responsive editing.
Hmm.
So this should have changed. I don't know why it did not. Oh, large. Let's see something. I thought I had said this before and it did not stick, so let's double check this. So that's for the large screen. Now I'm gonna go to extra large, which I think I was talking to Kelly last time. Maybe it was you, and I did not know that this was even here. So you can see what happened is this on the extra large screen, it still was way
Hmm.
too large. So I could just play it easy and move this over. And for the large screen, that's what I'll do. I'll hit done. So there's different ways to style it for different screens.
Okay.
How about other questions at all, Jason? Do you have any more? And I'm sorry I rambled on again like I did last time.
No, it's great. No, nothing yet. Like I said, I'll definitely be playing with it again this week. I've definitely got some time on Wednesday. It's usually my day off, so I'll be playing with it on Wednesday, definitely.
Okay.
So we'll see what
Again,
we can
as
come
you're
up with.
playing with it, give some thought. If you decide when you're ready that you want to do like residentassistance.com to do some
Mhm.
blog posts or editing some other pages, when you're ready, to actually do stuff, let me know. We'll look at your site. We'll see what you've done, adding in headings, adding in font, adding in colors and photos and columns. So you can practice as much as you want. Uh, and the good thing is too, especially again, as you start to apply for jobs, you'll be able to point to your website saying, this is the website I created. I create something similar for you. I can, edit sites, that type of stuff. Because
Mhm.
I'm sure there's companies in your area that have websites that need help, but they
Oh
can't
yeah,
find anybody who knows what they're doing. So
yeah.
anyway. How about any other questions at all or thoughts or
No, that's good right now. And then, like I said, I'll just